MXTV is proudly brought to you by Insure My Ride, great bike insurance cover at an affordable price. And Motor, quality oils for more than 150 years.
Welcome to MXTV. I'm Lee Hogan, joined once again by Brendan Bell. Welcome, Belly.
Thanks, mate. I am absolutely pumped tonight. We're going to have an awesome show.
We sure will, because on tonight's show, you get to interview AMA young gun Adam Cianciarulo. You also sit down with FMX superstar Robbie Maddison. We find out what it's like to go for a ride on a trail bike tour. CDR gives us a tech tip, and Jamie and Belly review the MXTV project bike, the KTM 350 EXC-F. Yeah, it's a big show, but to start off with, Belly catches up with Con Thermos from the Otway Off-Road Motorcycle Tours to see what it's all about.
You've been in this area for quite some time, so you know the Otways like the back of your hand.
That's right, mate, yeah. Been here since a kid, 12 or 13, riding out here, you know, with the bush and looking around, finding tracks, and one day making it into a business, so it's been great. We've been operating since 2005 as a licensed tour operator. We're the only one here in the Otways. It's been going great, lots of support from everyone.
Well, I'm really looking forward to this. We've got the KTM project bike to take for a ride, and we've actually got a few blokes here. It's only quite a very small bunch today, isn't it? So we don't have to worry about too much with corner man system with someone behind. We all know what we're doing. Yeah,
that's right. It's a small group today, and we'll just go out and have fun and enjoy the trails.
I dare say, mate, you must have some great tracks out there that not many people know about.
Yep, mate. Every inch of ground around here, I pretty much know. I can take you on the easiest ride or the hardest ride, basically. Whatever you want to do, I can cater pretty much for everything. We sort of do what we call level 1 and 2, which is your basic sort of rider. We do a bit of coaching as well. I'm a level 1 accredited coach, so I can teach people the skills behind the riding and riding off-road. And we do up to the hardcore rides where, you know, we get some of the best riders in Australia coming along. We started off with just 2-day tours, offering our customers an experience here in the Otways. We branched out to 3 days and 4 days, and now we do our 7-day, which is our main tour. So it's 3 days here and then a day rest, and we fly everyone over to Tassie, and we do 3 days in Tassie, so it's just amazing. It's a great ride.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
And not only is it the Otways, you're also branching out to the high country in Victoria, that sort of thing.
That's correct, yeah. We go to places like Mount Buller and Jamison and Halcombe. We do these magnificent high country rides, and yeah, we go everywhere now. It's been great, yeah. Anyone's welcome as long as you've got a registered bike and licence, you've got your own safety gear. Everything is basically catered for after that. Generally between 10 and 20 is our regular sort of group. We're support, so we've got a tailman, we've got a backup vehicle. If you get hurt, you get injured, you break your bike, we've normally got parts. Basically want the ride to go as smooth as possible for everyone on the day and just make it a great ride. And
I believe you provide lunch and a meal at the end of the ride too.
Best part, actually. Sometimes I get the folks out to cook a barbecue, which is an amazing European barbecue with lots of tomato and olives, and you know, it's awesome. So we make sure that the food is an important part of it.
It's pretty much something that everyone should do. I mean, it sounds, you know, a bit odd paying someone to take you out and go around some trails, but
Tom puts on a good show down here, so a good day, good trails, good conditions as well. Oh, it's brilliant. Good setup, good people, good feed even. Can't go wrong.
Really, really exciting, very different, very challenging to where I normally ride. A good array of all different aspects to ride over. Something I'd definitely look into, getting a good group of guys together to come out here. The service is unreal, good feed, good guided tours, help on the hard obstacles. Really good, really enjoyed it.
How do we get in touch with you?
Pretty easy, website's the easiest, I would say. Email addresses on their phone numbers, Facebook page, we've got a great Facebook page with heaps of photos and information. Basically, otwayoffroad.com.
All the dates are there.
Well, if you're into trail bike riding, it definitely looks like an enjoyable way to spend your day on a motorcycle.
Oh, look, Lee, I really think so, mate. It's really easy. All you have to do is grab your mates, get your bike and your gear bag together and go out and have a great time.
Absolutely. Now, I think I might take this baby for a bit of a ride.
Oh, no way.
Well, we can discuss that later on. Now, Belly, you got to catch up with one of the most anticipated riders to come out of the US junior scene, Adam Cianciarulo. Let's hear what he had to say.
Adam, first of all, this year's been much of a learning year. Talk us through your year in the motocross season.
It's been full of challenges, but it's also been good. Like you said, it has been a good learning year up to this point, and obviously I was supposed to start the season at the opening round at Hangtown in May, and ended up coming down with a sickness. Not sure what it was. It was a bad deal, but it ended up being salmonella. Laid in bed for a couple of weeks, tried to recuperate, and then got back on the bike as soon as I could, and just really from there just been building up. Recently at Utah last week, and I had my best race of the year with a podium in the first moto, which was really good and a step in the right direction. So, you know, it's only going to get better from here.
Well, in saying that, probably what's the thing that's going to go through to next year that you'll most take with you?
Probably the biggest thing I'll take with me to next year is just knowing the tracks, knowing the riders, knowing how they race compared to amateurs to pros. It's so much different. I mean, it's almost like a different sport. So you got to relearn basically, you know, how to do a lot of things.
Is it a lot rougher in the pros? Is there a lot more banging bars, or is it just so they don't give you an inch?
Pros are definitely more intense. It is these guys' jobs, and you know, they know where they belong, and if somebody passes them and they feel like they should be there, they're gonna bang bars to get by you no matter what. If you give these guys an inch, they're gonna take it. I mean, you have to be that way, or you know, on the first lap, they're like wild dogs out there.
You've got the best trainer in the business. Alden Baker, what's that been like? Like, how hard is his regimen?
You can see all the #1 plates that guy has contributed to and all the riders he's made. To have the confidence in knowing the program you're doing is going to make you elite, give you that edge on everybody else, it's unreal, and it's a lot easier to do all that work when you know that it's the best program out there. He's so smart, and every time I have a question or ask him about food or really anything, like why are we pushing hard on the road bike today, and you know, why are we pushing hard on the motorcycle today, and why are we doing this many 30-minute motos? He's got an answer for everything. I mean, he's got it down to a science. It's a roadmap to success.
Mate, are you learning a lot from riding with Ryan and being, you know, in that corner?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. I'm around the best motocross rider in the world right now on a daily basis. I see what he does for training. I see what he does on the bike. To have that kind of the bar set for you every day, and you're trying to reach that bar, like, you know, even though it's not realistic for me right now, every day I'm gonna try to be as fast as Ryan no matter what.
For the young kids out there that are watching, what does it take to get to someone of your standard?
It's a combination of things. I think for one, I've been blessed to have a really good family behind me. My dad sacrificed so much for me, as well as my mom and my sister. You know, they were going to do what it takes for me to chase my dream and to be successful at the sport I wanted to be successful at. I think you have to have the desire. Obviously, you have to want to be better than everybody else, and you have to be willing to work for it. I think it's just keeping kind of a level head and mainly just to have fun with it, and you know, and enjoy riding your dirt bike as much as you did the day before.
Hands-On Kawasaki Motorcycles has over 25 years of professional experience in the industry. We offer quality Kawasaki motorcycles, ATVs, mules and jet skis. From finance to insurance, Hands-On features state-of-the-art workshop facilities with highly trained and experienced factory-trained technicians. We have a vast range of accessories, and if it's Kawasaki, then we have it. Contact us now, and don't forget to mention MXTV for a great deal. Hands-On Kawasaki, everything Kawasaki. MXTV is proudly supported by KTM, Alpine Stars, Kawasaki and Pirelli.
This year on MXTV, you get a chance to win a Milwaukee prize pack every week. The prize pack comes with an M12 cordless heated jacket with 5 carbon fibre heating elements which actively warms the body's core areas and pockets. A job site radio that powers from either an M12 battery or a 240 volt main supply. A LED light that has a magnetic back for hands-free use. And last but not least is the PowerPort, a convenient charger for all your mobile equipment. And all you have to do is go to the MXTV Facebook page, like and share us, and you're in with a chance to win the fantastic prize pack from our good friends at Milwaukee.
Welcome back to MXTV, thanks to Insure My Ride. Well, when Belly was over in the USA, he was lucky enough to get an invite to FMX superstar Robbie Maddison's house, and this is what they got up to.
With us now is FMX and distance jumping champion. Everybody knows he's a legend of the sport. Of course, it's our own Robbie Maddison. Welcome to MXTV again, mate.
Thanks, mate. Good to be back on the air.
Now, mate, what have you been up to for this year? Tell all the guys out there.
This year's kind of been like a different turn for me. Like I've done Red Bull X Fighters and Best Whip in LA. And then we did a project that's going to come out next year. So we finished shooting it. It was a big commitment. Kind of hard to do that commitment and then come out and then not be able to tell anyone about it. You guys will see it next year. And I'm trying to focus on some bigger goals, and we're putting together a big event next year, and I'm working close with Red Bull and a couple of networks and trying to work out a deal and pull off another cool idea. At the end of the day, it's what it's about for my sponsors, and I've been doing the freestyle circuit now for 10 years and just want to try and freshen things up and go in different directions. The crash that I had at X Games with Speed and Style, it took the wind out of me for sure. I actually was really close to dying. When I crashed, the bike hit me in the back, and the second rib actually almost ruptured my aorta, and so I was pushing on the aorta and puncturing it in, and it didn't rupture it, and so they pretty much told me that I can't do any contact or action sports ever again, and pretty much going to have a mundane life from there on in. And you know, obviously I didn't want to take that as the rest of my life, so I went and kind of started researching and looking into how I could fix it. I went down and caught up with Paul Checks, and rather than Western medicine's approach of putting a band-aid on every situation, he looks at the root of the problem, and with the broken rib he was able to get me to do some stretches, and during one of the stretches it popped back out, and I didn't have to have the surgery, and it definitely took the wind out of the sail. And after that crash I wasn't sure if I wanted to take those risks anymore, but there's a part of me that really feels I'm here to take on from Evel Knievel where he left off, and that's where my focus is, and that's what I'm trying to shoot for, you know.
How'd you get into dirt bikes? And you know, probably a lot of the people out there don't really know the true story.
I think what really kicked it off for me was there was a young guy who lived at the top of the street, and their parents were building a house at the bottom of the street, so literally every day he'd ride past on a mini bike, and I started being aware of it, and I was tuned in, and I'd hear the noise of the bike coming. I'd run to the window and see him go past, and that image is still in my head today, and I think that's what set it off for me, is just the freedom this young kid had riding his dirt bike. My dad still says it was the most expensive mistake he made. But you know, 10 years of racing motocross as a junior, you know, my parents really did a great thing by me and gave me a foundation that's been able to lead me on to obviously freestyle motocross, adapting to the tricks quickly, and also having the confidence to fly, you know, long distances.
Another viewer question is, how'd you get into the freestyle scene?
I was a late bloomer, so I think it really messed with how fast I was on the track. You know, in the 80cc class I'd dominate, but in the 125 class I was kind of really struggling to get the podium, so I didn't really get noticed at a young age, and when you went to senior there was really no offers, so I, you know, decided to make a decision, and I went and did an apprenticeship. And it was just advice from my dad, and it was great advice. You know, I learnt so many keys about life, and you know, putting in the hard work, and you know, usually when it's tough, it's not time to quit, it's time to kind of go a bit deeper and push a bit harder. And after my apprenticeship was over, freestyle motocross was like really booming, and the Crusty Demons were out in Australia touring, and I remember watching Luke Urek and Twitch doing a synchronised turn down, and that did it for me.
You're worldwide known as the distance jumping man now. As you said, you've taken over from Evel Knievel. What led you down that path?
This was a dream of mine all through primary school, high school, you know, and it was something that I never really spoke about because I just thought it was so far out of my reach. You know, having meningitis and nearly dying through my apprenticeship definitely made me decide that I needed to take a risk and go for what I was dreaming about. There was a drive inside of me that just wanted to jump big jumps. You know, I was like hitting these ramps, and it was so cool to hit it, but I was like, we're in second gear. You know, I've got like 4 others to hit, so I wanted to hit something 5th gear pinned and feel what that felt like. And so I was just kind of going out off my own bat, trying to find a piece of land where I could build a massive landing to just have a go at it. Eventually, Crusty Demons were having a big event, and Seth Enslow was lined up to do the world record jump, and weeks before he broke his wrist and was unable to ride, and word on the street was looking for someone to do the record, and I was like, this is my calling, like this is what I'm about. I think very first jump I went 220 feet. From there we stretched the ramp right back and got 2 world records that night, and then that was just motivation then to kind of go out and keep pushing it. You know, I definitely don't look at myself as any kind of superstar. You know, I'm just a dude, blue-collared worker following his dream, and definitely thankful for everyone that's helped me out to get this far. I like to just give back. You know, I think at the end of the day, if you're not helping out or giving back, we're all away from home. We all haven't got our families here. We all are in the same position, and it's just cool to get the Aussie boys out here. We've got pies in the freezer, and we've got tubs of Vegemite around here, and we keep it real. And it's just good to get out on the bike, share what I've got here. You know, all the other guys don't have courses, and it's hard to kind of get on everyone's courses and have a ride. And I just try to make it like an open pass. You know, if you're an Aussie and you ride dirt bikes, you're welcome. There you go.
Can you explain to me one of your quotes? I believe that sometimes in life you have to take risks to get wiser.
And I think for me personally, like, there's always this goal of, you know, being a star on the bike and all this kind of stuff, but really once you get there, you're still looking and you feel kind of hollow inside. And I think taking those risks and trying to nourish that drive for whatever, you know, materialistic things. You know, I think after taking the risks and then getting those things, and then to look back, it was never about that anyway. I think having a family and all that definitely has helped. I mean, for me, all these risks that I've taken has made me kind of look back and appreciate the small things.
Thank you very much for inviting us out. It's an unbelievable day out here, and you guys got the riding done early. As I said, this guy's going to be probably one of the nicest blokes I've met in the dirt bike industry, and they're all really nice, but you're an unbelievable bloke. So thanks very much for inviting us out and getting us out here and showing us your pad. It's awesome.
Awesome. Thanks for coming out, guys. Welcome to the little slice of Australia here in the Southern California desert.
Hi, I'm Brad McAlpine from CDR Yamaha. Today on MXTV, we'll be covering torque specifications, why we should torque bolts, and a torque wrench, and to what specification we torque them at. The reason we torque bolts is one of two things: to stop a bolt from falling out, to stop a bolt from stripping, and another important side of thing is a crush, because a tight bolt will cause crush to the material. Here we have the front end and the triple clamp and front fork. This is designed as a pinch bolt only. Obviously, too tight of a bolt will cause prolonged damage to your actual triple clamp and thread, possibly even stripping the bolt. So the manufacturer's designed a specification clearly to prevent this, and it affects the handling if it's too tight because of the flex characteristic of the triple clamp. So what you'll find, for example, Yamaha in their specification guide, and all motorcycles will have this in their manual. For example, this 8mm bolt is torqued to 21 Newton meters. Well, once we've retrieved our Kincrome torque wrench from our toolbox, we then find the required specification on our torque wrench. We're using 21 Newton meters, which can be programmed into your torque wrench by the handle and then locked off with its locking bolt. Once we've locked it off and double-checked our torque specification, make sure it's securely fitted to your hex head on your bolt, and basically use it like a normal ratchet. Proceed downward motion until your torque wrench clicks off. That indicates that it's up to 21 Newton meters. There's always a reason behind a torque setting. Every manufacturer will have a torque setting for this particular rear axle, bolt and nut, designed for not only the nut to not come off, but is designed for a flex chassis mechanism also. So basically we get our torque wrench, secure it firmly onto the nut, and because I've set the specification on my adjuster here, when I pull the torque wrench up in the upward motion and I hear that click, means I've reached the desired torque setting for that particular nut.
G'day, I'm Jason Childs from CDR Yamaha, and I'm going to show you some important bolts that need to be torqued on an engine. The bolts that we're torquing up are the cam cap bolts, which are the 4 bolts for the exhaust cam and the 4 bolts for the inlet cam. The importance for torquing these bolts up are to have it so it's even on the camshaft journals to prevent damage to your cam cap, your cylinder head and your camshaft. So pretty much I've got my workshop manual out here, which is showing me the correct sequence to tighten the cam cap bolts. And I've got my torque wrench set to the correct tension. So now I'm going to go through and torque it as per the owner's manual. The 2 other things that really need to be torqued on your engine are the oil filter cap and the sump plugs. It's really important to do those 2 items because the threads are always being used. The bolts are in and out all the time, and over the life of the bike that you have, with regular oil changes, not torquing them up can cause damage to these threads. The oil filter bolts are very easy to strip if you don't use a torque wrench. The torque setting for these two bolts will be in your owner's manual.
F1 Moto is an online retail store selling motorbike, ATV and PWC parts and accessories. Whether you're looking for general service, rebuild parts or increased performance, F1 Moto is a website for you. F1 Moto offers free shipping within Australia and the staff are available by phone to answer any questions you may have. So check them out at f1moto.com.au or call on 02 4681 9958.
MXTV is proudly supported by Suzuki, Bell Helmets, Yamaha and SKF. In this week's product review, we take a look at some new products from Kincrome. First up is the 1/4 inch and 3/8 drive socket sets. These socket sets come in metric sizes only and in a handy heavy-duty blow-moulded case to keep them safe. Just what you need when you're out with your bike. Next is the new limited edition graphics toolkits and toolboxes. The toolkits come in carbon, outlaw and bombshell and with a range of tools. All the tools come with a carbon look EVA trays and the combination spanner set have a mirror polish. These toolboxes have ball bearing slides and soft close drawer retention system. You'll agree, a must for any dirt bike garage. Check out these and many more great Kincrome products at kincrome.com.au.
Welcome back to MXTV. And for this week's bike review, Jamie and Belly take the MXTV project bike, the KTM 350 EXC-F, for a bit of a spin.
Today we're going to have a look at the 2014 KTM 350 EXC-F. Now Jamie and I are very excited because this is the MXTV project bike. Let me tell you a few things about it. The 350 EXC-F is the ultimate enduro bike when it comes to optimum rideability and maximum enduro performance. The 350cc 4-stroke engine with state-of-the-art electronic fuel injection provides a very broad usable rev range, with a peak power of more than 45 horsepower. And of course it comes with the high-tech Brembo brakes. The single-piece outer hub of the further optimised DDS clutch is machined along with its primary gear from a solid block of high-strength steel. This process guarantees unbeatable reliability and allows the engine to be extremely narrow. The new frame on the 350 EXC for 2014 has thinner walled down tubes and even lower weight. The revised design of the airbox guarantees optimum protection of dirt from the air filter. The air filter box cover, front fender, including the headlight mask and headlight, have all been restyled for 2014. All right, well that's enough chit chat. It's time for Jamie and I to have a ride on it and see what we think of it. Well Jamie, the KTM 350 EXC-F, mate, what were your thoughts on the engine?
Mate, what can I say? The engine was great. You know, it's got lots of torque, heaps of over rev, and one thing you don't want in the bush is a bike with too much power. This thing was just perfect. After getting on a bit of a fire trail out here today and giving it a good wide open throttle, loved it. We went all the way through the power range and just kept pulling, which was a bit of a surprise.
On the single trail, this thing handles very well. It turns well. I think it's one of the best handling enduro bikes around at the moment.
This KTM 350 is something that you could hop on with your buddies and go ride, and I really think you could ride this thing easily for 8-9 hours through single trail and rivers and whatever you wanted to do and get off and not feel flogged out.
This bike has a nut underneath the tank that you can loosen off and take some fuel out and help your mate out. Now that's a little bit of forward thinking, I think. You and me both, being motocross riders.
Exactly.
Don't like doing air filters. Just drives me insane. Watch how easy this is, Jamie.
This is good.
And we're at the air filter. That's what I like.
That's handy. That is definitely handy.
Now, the only thing that I got a bit of a gripe with this bike is where the choke's positioned. I've got little fingers and I still find it difficult to be able to pull the choke in and out.
I think it's really, really aimed at the junior or up to the intermediate bush rider, and that would suit them fabulous. You know, it's ideally manufactured for that reason. It's a great bike, and I think the KTM are going to sell an awful lot of them.
Well, I love it, and we're going to ride this for a little bit longer, so keep watching the show because there'll be another segment later on down the track after we've played around with a little bit more, Jamie, put a few more Ks on it and really get a good insight into this machine. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
For all your motorcycle insurance needs, contact Insure My Ride at insuremyride.com.au. Comprehensive motorbike insurance from less than $1 a day.
Well, now I can see why you like that bike so much, Belly.
It's a ripper, Lee. I tell you what, all I got to do is keep your grubby hands off it and Jamie's, and then it's all mine.
I will be keeping my hands off it, I promise. All right, well, it's almost time to go, but don't forget to enter our Milwaukee competition. All you need to do is go to our MXTV Facebook page, like and share us. It's as easy as that.
It really is. And don't forget our Instagram, and of course, check out this one's Instagram. It's going off.
Thanks for joining us for an episode here of MXTV. We can't wait till the next episode. Until then, make sure that you hold it on.
For example, you guys are clowns. We're trying to do business here. Who are they?
Makes it all real.
I'm not crying, I just
Yeah.
have something in both of my eyes.
Oh, car.
Well, I'm sure there's lots of people out there that tighten their nuts to...
Yeah, that's a...
MXTV is proudly brought to you by Insure My Ride. Great bike insurance cover at an affordable price. And Motor, quality oils for more than 150 years.